Before Bishop appears, the Alien series has already taught audiences and Ellen Ripley to fear artificial crew members. Ridley Scott's Alien was released in 1979 and eventually reveals that Ash, the ship's science officer, is an android secretly following corporate priorities. He protects the company's interest in the alien organism, even when that endangers the human crew. That betrayal is crucial background for Aliens, James Cameron's 1986 sequel. When Ripley discovers another artificial person assigned to the mission, she is not reacting to a stereotype without experience. She is reacting to trauma and to evidence that Weyland-Yutani is willing to hide a synthetic agent among people and sacrifice lives for a commercial objective. Bishop is the artificial person assigned to the colonial marine ship Sulaco. Lance Henriksen plays him with a calm voice, restrained movement, and an almost careful politeness. He serves as a science officer and handles tasks involving analysis, medicine, navigation, and technical systems. Unlike Ash, he does not pretend to be biological. The crew knows what he is, and his artificial nature is revealed openly through his white blood. Bishop therefore begins with a different relationship to the humans around him. He is still company equipment in an institutional sense, but he is also a visible member of the team whose behavior can be observed and judged over time. Ripley initially wants nothing to do with him. Bishop explains that his model is different from Ash and has behavioral safeguards against harming humans. The statement is reasonable, but Ripley has little reason to accept a manufacturer's assurance. Aliens wisely does not solve the conflict with one speech. Bishop earns trust through a sequence of actions. He listens to Ripley's objections, performs his duties, and does not retaliate against her hostility. The audience watches the same evidence she does. His reliability is not based on appearing perfectly human or expressing dramatic emotion. It comes from consistency when the mission becomes increasingly dangerous. One of Bishop's defining qualities is competence without arrogance. He can perform a high-speed knife demonstration, analyze specimens, connect to colony systems, and understand technical risks quickly. Yet he does not use superior speed or precision to dominate the group. His abilities are directed towards shared survival. The contrast with the human company representative Burke is important. Burke is biological, emotional, socially fluent, and capable of deception. Bishop is artificial, visibly unusual, and often literal, but he acts with greater honesty and concern. The movie separates morality from biology. The most human-looking intentions are not always the most humane, and a manufactured being can be the person who behaves most ethically. Bishop's greatest test comes when the survivors need him to reach a remote transmitter and guide another dropship to the colony. The route is dangerous and the timing is uncertain. When the evacuation seems to fail, Ripley briefly believes Bishop has left them. He returns, pilots the ship under extreme conditions, and helps Ripley and Newt escape. The alien queen then tears him apart, but even while catastrophically damaged, he continues trying to protect them. These actions complete the trust arc. Bishop does not become admirable because he gives a perfect explanation of his inner life. He becomes admirable because his choices repeatedly align with the survival and well-being of others. Alien 3, released in 1992, returns to Bishop in a damaged state. Ripley reconnects his remaining systems so he can provide information about what happened after the Sulaco. The scene is brief, but it gives the character an unexpected dignity. His body has been reduced to fragments, yet his memories, voice, recognition of Ripley, and preferences remain. He is not treated as an interchangeable replacement part. Bishop eventually asks her to shut him down because continued existence in that condition offers no meaningful life. Whether viewers agree with the choice or not, the moment recognizes that the damaged machine has a perspective on his own condition. Alien 3 also introduces a human-looking company representative connected to Bishop's appearance, commonly called Bishop II. The film deliberately leaves uncertainty about exactly who he is and whether his claims can be trusted. Later franchise material connected the likeness to members of the Wayland line, including Charles Bishop Wayland in Alien vs. Predator. This creates a complicated visual family. A human, an android design, and other related versions may share a face without sharing one identity. The same appearance can represent a creator, a corporate symbol, or an individual synthetic person. That distinction is useful whenever a franchise reuses an actor to connect different layers of its mythology. Bishop-related characters also appear in games, comics, novels, and other expanded stories. Some are intended as the same damaged individual, some are different android units, and some are human figures connected to the model's design. Because Alien continuity has several branches, it is better to describe those versions clearly than to force every appearance into one uninterrupted biography. The central film character remains the Bishop from Aliens, the synthetic crew member who enters a situation already poisoned by Ash's betrayal and slowly demonstrates that artificial people are not morally identical just because they were made by the same corporate civilization. The most interesting part of Bishop's story is trust. Ripley cannot directly inspect his private experience, and neither can the audience. Instead, everyone relies on converging evidence. His memory, his explanations, his concern, his restraint, and his behavior when no easy reward is available. That is not fundamentally different from how characters judge one another. Bishop is not required to pass a philosophical examination before helping the group. He participates, keeps promises, takes risks, and shows continuity. By the end, Ripley's treatment of him changes because he has earned a place in her moral world through action. Bishop changed the role artificial people could play in the Alien franchise. Ash made the hidden android frightening. Bishop made the visible android sympathetic and heroic without turning him into a magical imitation of a biological human. He remains synthetic in movement, blood, construction, and capability. What changes is the audience's understanding of what those differences mean. The horror does not come from the fact that he was manufactured. It comes from the alien organism and from human institutions willing to exploit everyone around them. My closing question is this: did Bishop win your trust the first time you watched Aliens, or did you remain suspicious until the final rescue?